Welcome to Coaches Go Social. Happy New Year and welcome to the first show of 2021. I've missed you all. It feels like it's been forever since I've been live with you, and I'm so glad that you're there, that you're here with me, and that I'm here with you. I believe, that entrepreneurship is the ultimate journey in personal growth, and we need to stick together. That's why I created this community. If you're an entrepreneur, you're in the right place, because twice per month I bring on guests, coaches, subject matter experts, which will offer advice to help you grow your business. And then we have a fun chat after the show to connect. It's called the after show to connect. And I really hope that you'll join us for that too. And today I have a special guest. We're going to talk about how to supercharge your website. So if you've kind of put your website on the back burner, now's the time to really bring it to life and use the tips that Gina Williams, my guest today, she's going to share with us. So I'm super excited for her information. But before I get into that, I'm going to catch up with you a little bit. And I also want to share some kind of sad news, very sad news actually, in our community and Coaches Go Social. So I had a guest on, her name is Gina Sword, back in November. She offered great advice about courses and how to market your course. And I learned this morning, unfortunately, that her father passed away from COVID. And I know there's been a lot of loss all across all of our communities. And, I want to take a moment to just really send my love to her, and for you as well to send your love and positive thoughts to her, because it's an incredibly hard time. And, it makes you realize how awful what we're going through is, of course. And as much as I always love to make sure that, I'm sharing, positive thoughts, and I'm helping people stay in that positive mentality and that mindset, it's things like this are going to continue to happen until we get on this path to recovery. And, it's 2020 is gone, but the effects are still going to last for a while. And it's just hard, just very sad to know that happened so close to us. And if you've experienced this in your family and your community, I send my love and support to you as well. This is just a really difficult time, and for everybody. And I just wanted to share that because it really hit home for me today for sure. And I wanted you to send your thoughts as well. So I think I wanted to remind everyone at this point, if you're not already in like a mode on your mindset to be able to get through this difficult time of just having gratitude for what you have and appreciation for what you have, that can just work so well to keep yourself in a positive mindset. There's nothing too small that you can appreciate every day. You can appreciate your family, your health, your business, whatever the case may be, that you can appreciate and keep yourself in that positive mindset, because there is so much going on right now that, we don't have control over, and that is happening that can really get us down. And it just, to keep yourself in that positive mindset, just appreciation and gratitude is just so, so important. So I wanted to start that off with, connecting with you all again, and just showing you where I'm at and where we are all, and we're all here together to support each other, and I'm here for you too. So like I said, we're talking about websites today, and Gina is going to share a bunch of tips for us to help us with our website, in addition to improving your website to get more leads. And I know if you're an entrepreneur and you got a website, that's definitely top on your list. So you're going to want to stick around for this. And then after the show, so the show is going to go for about 30 minutes. At the end of the show, we're going to all gather into a Facebook Messenger chat room where we can see your faces if you want, or you could turn your video off and just chat with us in audio. She's going to do a website review. So some lucky person that joins us in there is going to be able to get their website reviewed in our after show. So I'm super excited about that. I want to share a little bit about her. Gina, I've met her at Hair Hub actually a few years back. If you look at my website, Capitalize Social Media, she did my redesign of my website and continues to help me support it. And it's awesome. I love it so much. And I love working with Gina. She and her business partner actually sold their thriving multi-six-figure business back in 2016. And she had one goal after that, which was to help people reach their goals. So I think that's so awesome. Became her mantra. And after a decade in small business and online marketing, she thought the best way to help people is to help them get their website working and make it really work for them. And just like she had done herself. So now that she helps entrepreneurs attract more clients and close more sales with the websites, doing the work for them. So the 3 things that she's going to share with us today is why you really can't help people with free content, the biggest mistakes she sees in struggling personal brands on the web, and the number 1 reason that your website isn't bringing you leads. So if you're really interested in bringing those leads in through your website, you definitely want to stick around. If you're an entrepreneur, you have a website, don't leave. You're going to want to check this out and stay to the end so you can join us at the after show. If you watch my show before, you know my show is sponsored by Coaches Go Social is sponsored by Wave.video. Wave.video is an awesome, easy to use video editing tool. Even lets you add captions into your videos, which is super cool and really easy. And that's how I created my little intro video that I show transitioning into bringing Gina on. I'm going to show you that video and then I'll bring her on right afterwards. So thanks so much for being here. Make sure you say hi in the comments. I can't wait to chat with you. Here she is, Gina. Yay.
Hi, thanks so much for having me on. And I don't think I've told you, but your intro video is so cool.
Oh, thanks. It's so fun to watch back all the guests and awesome people that I've had. And now I can add you and do a redo and add you in there too.
Hey, so I love it.
Yay. Yay. Awesome. I'm so here. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. And for the after show, some lucky person is going to get their website review, which is going to be so exciting and so fun. And Sherry's here with us, Sherry Roberts. She's awesome social media expert. And yeah, so I'm sure she has a website that she wants to learn more about how she can improve. So we're definitely going to talk about that today. So I did not know that I've known you for a few years now. I did not know that maybe I don't know how I could forget this, how you left a 6-figure e-commerce business, you sold that and you transitioned it. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so we sold gifts for beer lovers. So it was really fun. It was like craft beer. So the whole idea was wine lovers have, the kitchen towels and the things for their house and all these things to kind of celebrate their love of wine. And so we created gifts for craft beer lovers to kind of celebrate their love of craft beer because it was such a growing trend. So that was a really fun business, totally bootstrapped, and but we really made it work and I learned a ton. And so, yeah, like you said, I came out of that just wanting to take that knowledge and help other people do the same thing on the web.
I love it. That's so awesome. Yeah, I did not know that about you. So obviously you have the skills that it takes to improve websites and know what it takes to improve websites to make them work for you. So that is really, really cool. So yeah, if you have questions while we're chit-chatting, make sure to add them in the comments. And again, make sure to stick around for the end where we're going to gather in a little chat room and then she's going to do an actual real-time website review, which is going to be super
so that's really fun. That's really fun because, and I promise I'll be gentle, but a lot of people, right? If you're that person who's sitting there going, somebody asks for your website and you're like, well, it's, and you're a little afraid to give that link out. Or even if you think it's great, there's always some easy, simple tips that we can help you with.
Yes. Awesome. I love that. And, it's a good reminder too, because we know as much as I am active and my clients and are active on social media, that's your website is your home base. That is the place where you want people ultimately to end up. And that's something that you definitely want people to go to. So getting them from social media to your email list, to your website, all those fun places that you can stay into contact with them is super, super important. So, hey, Mary, I'm so glad you're here. Yay. Mary says SEO services, but she's got questions about SEO. Well, I'm sure you're going to share about that. What should you ask a website developer? How do I know that they're really doing the SEO work that I need on my website? Ooh, that is her. I know that's Gina's expertise for sure. So we're going to cover that.
That's what makes your website really perform, right? Like, I mean, it needs to have the right messaging and have that professional look, but it doesn't do much good if there's nobody seeing it.
Yes,
So yeah.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
How do we want to do this? You want me to dig into that question, or you want to wait till?
Yeah, let's start with that question, then we can go. I'm sure you'll kind of cover all of them, but that's a good question.
Yeah.
Let's talk that. Let's let Mary
So
answer.
the question was, what should you ask a web developer, right? So yeah, basically SEO is it's this mythical being, right, that's out there, and people know there's something about keywords, and you know, it's important, but exactly how do you know that they're actually doing it? And so you need to give, well, first of all, I guess the questions that you would ask is, what is their approach? Because if you talk to 5 different SEO specialists, they will give you 5 different answers on like how they're going to do it and what they think works. Because to some degree, it's a little bit of a guessing game, right? Nobody really knows Google's their algorithms and how they work, but there are some really big key factors that have shifted, especially in the last year to year and a half, that have made SEO actually a little bit easier to understand. So the first thing that we need to know is ideally you should ask your website developer for a list of keywords and the traffic that they get, right? So you want, because people can get you ranking for something, but if it has 0 queries using that keyword, it doesn't help at all. So you want to make sure that the keywords that they're going after have good traffic. Good traffic for a small business is anything over 100 searches a month. And honestly, not often will you rank for something where it's thousands and thousands of searches a month, because that's what the bigger brands are going after. So it's really nice to be in that range of like 100, maybe to 1,000, probably a month is like a good, hey, you're going to actually have a chance to rank for that. And then looking at the competition, and they should be able to provide you with that. Who's ranking for these keywords that you're going to go after, and why do you think you can beat them, right? And then the other part of the SEO, and that's like the boring keyword part, the like easier thing that for entrepreneurs to do is to get more Google reviews. Getting Google reviews in the last year and a half has become much, much more important when it comes to ranking your site, especially locally. So, and I know we all want to be serving all the clients all over the United States or all over the world, but there are plenty of clients right here in our backyards, right? So let's get ranking locally and then build up and out from there.
That's really good advice. Yeah, definitely. You know, you
That's
can.
an answer. It's a really big topic. So to try and boil it down to like 2 minutes is.
No, that's good. That's really good information. I think that's good. Yeah, she said that I think she needs to do some work for sure. But I think we all do. And but it's a good point that you bring up as far as Google reviews. Like people say, oh, it's only for local searches. Well, I mean, it's there for people that are local, and then use that to then capitalize on all the rest of the marketing that you have too. So make sure your Google My Business listing is updated, and you ask for reviews. Asking for reviews is always important. So cool. Well, let's jump into our first question. Thank you, Mary, for that awesome question. Talk about SEO. What your answer is to this question? Why you can't help people with free content?
Okay, so free content is great, right? I see people on social media giving free content all over the place. And in fact, I'm going to offer some free content at the end of this. So I do it too. But here's what you need to know, right? You can spin your wheels creating different free offers over and over and changing them and tweaking them. But ultimately, the transformation is in the transaction, right? They're not going to get the value that you are trying to offer them until they buy in. And so it's a kind of a weird thing, but when people haven't really invested in something, they don't often get the return or the value that you would expect them to, and that they could. Really, I'm not saying that the free content that we put out isn't helpful. It totally is, but they haven't really bought in. And so the effect of that help is just not going to be as great until they have bought in. And what does that mean? that brings us into our second question. The biggest mistake that I see struggling personal brands making on the web is not making a real offer where they showcase the value of that offer to their prospective clients. So they'll talk about what they do and how they do it and all of these things, but they're not really showing that transformation that they're going to help their client get. So what is the value that that person's going to walk away with, right? What are they losing by not working with you? It's these kind of this picture that you're trying to paint of the value of your services, because products inherently have a value, right? I can touch it, I can hold it, I can feel it. But a service, we really have to do a much better job of painting the picture of that value in order for people to understand it.
Absolutely. What's in it for them? That's the whole, that premise. What's in it for them is, we talk about ourselves and we want to say what we can do because we want to build ourselves up and make it sound like it's this awesome thing. But what we really want to do and what your ideal clients are looking for is how it's going to benefit them. Okay. Yeah. We know you're going to do all this stuff, but what is it in it for them? That's what we should focus on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's actually, it's very ego based, right? It's because we as entrepreneurs are like, we want to make sure that we sound good enough and we, are enough. And so that's where we're coming from. But if we can just turn that lens around, that perspective around and help them understand what the benefits are to them. Yeah, that's where we want to be.
Exactly. That's a really, really good reminder. So good. Now, last but not least, if you have questions you're watching right now, make sure to add your questions. We're going to have time to answer them at the end. And if you stick around and want to get your website reviewed with us after the show, you'll have the opportunity for that too. So yay, Mary loves here's tips you're sharing. Super, super good information. And if you don't have a question and you want to just say hi, make sure to say hi so we can connect with you in the comments. Love that. So much fun. So what's the number one reason your website, whose website isn't bringing in leads? How can we get our website to bring in leads?
Well, the number one reason for most entrepreneurs is their call to action. 70% of small businesses don't even have a real call to action on their website, which is just appalling, right? Because if you've gotten them all the way there, if you've worked hard enough to network or be on social media or whatever, and you've actually gotten them to your website or paid someone to do SEO for you, right? And you've gotten them there, you've got to capture their attention, build that trust with them. But ultimately, what's keeping them from contacting you is not having a very clear and simple and effective call to action. So that contact us button, it just doesn't cut it anymore.
Yeah, right? That's a really good point. It's the same thing with social media too, is that you're sharing content and people are scrolling like super fast and they're like, well, if there's no question, if there's no call to action telling them to do something, they're not going to automatically think to do, to contact you or to message you or whatever, to comment even sometimes. Yeah. So having that call to action and asking for them to actually do something is ultimately their goal, and creating all this content and on our website, on social media. So I see very similar traits in between the two things that they're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. It's all about not leaving. We don't want to leave anything up to the future client, the prospect, to have to think about, to make a leap. Like, we want to make that connection for them, right? Just like you just said, they're not going to automatically think to do X, Y, or Z. And with calls to action, not only does it need to be enticing, but sometimes, especially on a website, it can just be leading them through getting more information. And that learn more button, that doesn't do any good either. But something that says get started, that then shows you what it would look like to get started. Anything that helps them make progress right now. People are very, right? Nobody wants to wait for anything. So if I can schedule that appointment right now, or if I can get that free quote or instant quote, if I can get started, those are all really great calls to action.
Good. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So good. So do you have any personal examples or client examples of really, really good call to actions that you've noticed?
Yeah, so I created a website last year for a retail store here in San Diego, and they also are a flooring contractor, so they've got kind of products and services, and they already had a fair amount of traffic to their website, so we redid their website, but the main thing that we redid, it looked kind of similar when I do the before and afters, but I was able to just change the call to action. Obviously, I did more than this, but like the big thing on the above the fold that was noticeable was estimate my floors now, which instead of everyone in their competitor space just says free estimate, which sounds like I'm going to have to wait for it and whatever, right? And so being able to give them that estimate right now increased to where they were getting more calls from their website like every day.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
really good. Yeah, specifically, like, think about it too. Like, I always think, what do I want to see? What's gonna, and make me want to click on it, and something that's real, that's actionable, that's gonna make that instant gratification happen for sure. You mentioned above the fold. Can you explain that, because I think that's an important thing to talk about too.
Yeah, so think newspapers, right? Back in the day, I don't even know if anyone on here is old enough to remember newspapers, but above the fold, if you don't flip that paper over, right, it's just what you see is what you get. Same with websites. If you don't scroll, that's what you see is you're above the fold. And because people make a decision about your website in under 2 seconds, your above the fold is where your focus should be. Like, that's the most important section of your website.
Whoa. So what is something that we should be putting in above the fold that's gonna make people stick around?
Yeah, so there definitely needs to be a call to action above the fold. And you need I call it in my course, a transformational headline. So that is something that helps people be very curious about the transformation that you're going to help them make. So it's that end result that they're trying to get to. And then you talk later about how you're going to help them get there, but you just want to make them curious. The whole idea about the above the fold is to get them to lean in, right? To be like, wait, what? Like, I want to know more about this. So that's what your intention is with the above the fold.
So would it be helpful to have like a video, or does video perform better than, like a specific, just like, verbiage text? How does that?
It depends a little bit on your brand. Videos on the homepage as a general rule are good for SEO. Google likes it when you have a video on your homepage. It doesn't have to be up top, but if you have an awesome video up top, it is definitely attention grabbing, right? It's going to make them look in. It's best if it starts playing immediately, meaning they don't have to push the play button, but it's just automatic. If you're going to have a video there, that's how you get the most benefit from it. And just make sure it's well produced, right? Because that will be the thing. So yeah.
Got it. That makes sense. Good. So no, spontaneous live videos on your homepage. Make sure it's a nice recorded, produced, good lighting and background and all that kind of stuff. Not that our videos aren't good, but that's just a good alternative, definitely, for sure. Veronica's here. Hey, Veronica. She loves the newspaper analogy. She is a very, she's an expert in e-commerce too. So you guys have that in common.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, since Veronica, she was just telling us, Gina's, I know her for a while, but I never knew that she sold a 6-figure e-commerce business before she started into websites. So that's super, super cool. Yay. So Sherry has a question. How do you get a video to self-start?
That is usually within the settings. So it depends on your web builder.
Website with service that you use, definitely. Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up here. Before we do, don't go anywhere. Oops. No, wait. We're not going to wrap up. Veronica has another question, or has a question. How do you get ready for the new Google updates?
We can kind of get the information that we have little bits as it comes out, but it's all a bit of a guessing game, right? So, as it's often better, I am less proactive, because as things roll out, we learn what's really going to be the big thing to spend time and money on.
Definitely. Yeah. The guessing game. It's true. It's just like social media. It's a guessing game. You do what works best.
Yeah. And if you're trying to be too jumping the gun and like worried about it, you're going to end up wasting precious time. We don't want to waste that.
Right, exactly. So do what works, keep doing what works, and then make little tweaks and things along the way, experiment. Yeah, definitely. That's, so yeah, websites and social media are very, very similar in that, it's kind of elusive, but you do your best and figure it out as you go for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I definitely want to make sure that, oh yes, thank you, Veronica. Yeah, that makes sense. That Gina has a free webinar coming up. I'm going to copy and paste this link into the chat right now so you can have that. How to take your website from fine to fabulous, which sounds amazing. You want to tell us a little bit about that, Gina?
Yeah, so we do a free workshop. It's 1 hour. It's actually this Thursday, so apologize for the late notice, but hopefully you can make it, and there will be replays, bits and pieces, that the kind of important parts that I email out after the fact. But if you come live, it's really great because we kind of go through different people's websites, and we create your transformational headline, and we talk about those 5 mistakes that almost everyone makes when they've made their own website and how to avoid them, because those 5 mistakes are the thing that send people away from your website basically never to return again, right? If you think about it, if you've kind of been off put by someone's website, do you ever return, right? Like, probably not. So it can be a really big deal. So you want to make sure you're not making those mistakes. And so we can help you make sure you're doing those right and get that transformational headline, that thing that makes them curious about how you can help them. We're going to write that right on the spot. So it'll be a good time.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. That's a really huge value. So yeah, if you're working on your website, you want to do a refresh, definitely check out that webinar that Gina's going to have on Thursday. Block out the time, make sure to be there. Yay. Cool. Yeah. So exciting. So thank you. And then if you want your website reviewed, you're going to have a chance to either get your website reviewed or get to observe a website being reviewed and take those tips away in the Facebook chat right now. So, she's saying that link doesn't work. We'll check that out. Make sure to add the link or update it if it doesn't work. But right now, we're going to go into a messenger chat room. So Veronica, Mary, Sherry, 2 Sherrys, join us in the chat, and Gina will look over your website, and then we can steal all the tips to improve our own website and connect a little bit. So we'll just be there for like 15 minutes and just connect, because we need to connect, because we need to stick together, because we are entrepreneurs that have to have community around us to continue to grow. If you didn't know already, I'm in the process of creating my course right now, Capitalize with Live, and it's actually halfway through the first group, and it's really super fun. And if you wanted to get on a wait list for my next group going through in March, you can do that. Capitalize Social Media /CWL. Thank you, Gina, for helping me with my landing page. And until then, you want to join me in my Facebook group, free Facebook group, Consistent Content Club. I'll add the link here too. But right now, we're going to leave here. We're going to go to the messenger chat room and hope to connect with you. So thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you in 2 weeks. I have Winnie Anderson, my next guest, and we're going to be digging into more business and how it aligns with your social good and your things that are really important to you. So yay, excited. See you all next time. Bye-bye.